Hey everybody, welcome welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah Catherine, this is Leah Sees Movies, and we are back with the next episode of Young Justice, the Rocket arc, so to speak. More realistically, just a series of unexpected shenanigans on New Genesis which interrupt the peace talks. We had a whole episode of a random new character who was apparently a relic from the Green Lantern show that I not only did not watch, I'd never heard of until you guys were talking about it in the comments. And apparently, despite what I assumed was going to happen, he's just never going to show up again. So we did all that for closure for a different TV show, I guess. Also, we got kind of the full backstory on Baby Zod, General Zod, and the Unseen Wife, and he's a villain bang, so that's how we know he's built for success. It was a fairly exposition heavy episode, but honestly I really liked it. I found most of the characters interesting. It would be a bit more satisfying if I knew that at least one of the storylines was actually going to progress anywhere, but for what it was, I had a good time. But that also means I don't really know where this episode is going. Obviously we're going to get a bit more of Baby Zod and co. Trying to break into Metron's vault of space stuff to get the projector and get his parents out. Whether Rocket's gonna have a legitimate diplomacy related arc this episode, we'll see. Or is she gonna get majorly distracted by some other goings on of New Genesis, which seems a bit more likely. That's all I really have speculation wise, so I'm gonna keep this brief. Let's get started. Oh, this town is so pretty. Hey.
I've been thinking we got off to a poor start. I know I reacted
Was very judgmental.
Incident. So I'd like a chance to start over.
I would like that as well.
She sounded so nervous, speak with authority. Also, granted, I see why she would be concerned. The dog of war had a massive freakout and beat up some babies. However, she was very judgmental for someone who was meant to be a diplomat. Also, ooh, to be fair, it'd be very hard to tell that that wasn't the real Orion because he only speaks in four word sentence fragments. So him being cool and walking away, I was like, that's fully in character. There's not a lot of deep cover needed for that. I just fully believe it. So Rocket's the last one in the intro, so is that kind of the saying that she's the last arc and then it's gonna go on to
his Infinity Vault
bringing everyone together?
Depositing something called a ruction cell.
How did you learn this?
The details were all on the surface of the Earther Rocket's mind side.
Darkseid's son has allied himself with the New Geneseans? How does the Lord of Apocalypse tolerate such disloyalty?
It was such a choice to make him a teenager because listen to his voice.
Eruption cell.
There is no problem.
But not all monsters look alike.
Oh, I was like, how did they get back here? But time travel, right? I am silly. Ooh. Pretty.
Right on time.
Yeah, well, didn't have much choice.
He's
Black Lightning's
back.
policy requiring annual mental health check-ins for members of the League, team, and outsiders basically forced me into this.
I like that he came in with child star sunglasses.
Total jerk at McGann's intervention. I've given it a lot of thought since then, and the truth is, I needed that reality check.
He's like, what do I need to say to pass this wellness check and leave?
How are you sleeping?
It was a little rough at first.
I'm getting so much sleep, guys. You probably should have kept the sunglasses on.
You handling Connor's death?
Still grieving. But coping. I'm honestly feeling much better.
All good.
Yep, all good.
Does he really think this is fooling anybody? This man does not look like he's had a nutritional meal in 18 years.
The Justice League hasn't given any serious consideration of our request.
You mean your request to hand over Cyborg and Halo?
Of course.
What?
Both are hybrids of new god technology that must not...
They're people. What do you mean? I can't just trade them over.
You must see it as in her best interest to be safeguarded here by the new gods.
Kidnapping is in safeguarding.
Family. A family who loves
No one's using the correct pronouns, by the way. I guess they didn't send out a
The
newsletter.
new gods withdraw the request.
We do?
We do. Somehow I doubt that.
I wanted to offer my condolences for Superboy. I love that kid.
The voice acting is so crazy with this. Everyone on New Genesis has the wildest voice.
I heard of Connell's death from Hal Jordan. It saddens me deeply that one of the few remaining genetic Kryptonians has passed.
That
Particularly a son of Anthony.
one of the few genetic, like not even him as a person. What a waste of genetic material. A real loss.
My single greatest regret was failing to save Krypton and the House of M.
The Phantom Zone. No space or time location. Because we're just in the void, baby. Oh, they're semi-transparent. Also, I know y'all saw his butt, right? Like, he's been doing nothing but squats in the zone.
It helps to stay together. That's how you keep the zone sickness at bay. Not to mention the devourers.
I'm back, and I brought company.
Hey, there she is. She the only
Let us
woman?
set a good example for our guest.
Damn. The real Kryptonian superpower are their cheekbones and jawlines.
Locked on the tracer signal.
Ooh, fun.
Must be the place.
There's Metron.
But are these all...
Cell.
Is that all storage? Or, like, are these rockets? What are they?
We're now in sync with this time. All we have to do is find the Phantom Zone projector.
Oh, that's all we have to do.
Yeah, so this is all shelving.
Maybe weeks. Then we'd better get started.
Does he have to be in sync with this time to search? He can't just, like, float around? That seems like you're exposing yourself. Also, Metron doesn't have any space security. No ring cam for the tech genius of New Genesis.
I'm not using anymore. Don't need them anymore.
So you wouldn't mind taking a drug test? As a formality?
Well, see, I only just stopped taking them. Might still be in my system.
If they're still in...
I've been clean for 3 whole days. Although for a guy who is not sleeping, those sleeping pills are not working.
So what's your long-term solution?
To get back with the outsiders.
That is not a solution.
You can't take away the outsiders. I made that squad. It's my squad. I can't lose them.
Aw, a genuine emotion.
Hey, Connor's hanging with Wally now. I'm sure they're doing great.
Connor was like a brother to you, wasn't he?
A brother-in-law.
I know I'm the reason Connor died. It's all my fault.
Oh, because you, like, went insane and turned into a thing and ran out and then did a whole thing.
Fact. Forager must decide whether to return to Forager's Earth Hive and Forager's Earth friends, or stay on New Genesis with Forager.
Damn, it's been like 3 days.
For 2 days.
See, I gave them an extra day.
I knew Joan was the one the moment I laid eyes on her. I made my move fast.
Earth year. Bio-waste recycling initiated. Whoops.
Did he just...
It's no less appalling than the rest of this conversation. Birthdays, love affairs, all trivial, of no import.
She's getting mad, but he's right. Like, this is not the time. Granted, Bear did kind of start the whole situation, but he's not wrong. Like, you guys have done nothing productive at this summit.
We're slow playing this one, my love. Allow me to introduce my life mate, Ursa Zod.
Well,
Is telekinesis a void thing?
odd. I've never known anyone to be unconscious in the zone. All they are is consciousness. Look at her burns. And yours. You two must be connected. Of course, condition doesn't change here. We don't age. We don't die. We don't heal.
But if your condition doesn't change, how does she get injured? Does the void just like make everyone kind of like, if you're just living consciousness, everyone can kind of be like telekinetic?
What is it?
Probably nothing.
Ooh. I mean, makes sense. Looks unpleasant, but I don't know why they thought it'd be like no security.
We have to move!
So, are they psychic?
I believe it is a baby sun eater. Absorbs all heat and energy.
I could stun it with a brain blast, but briefly.
While I can't punch a cloud, and Mantis sure as Rao can't do anything, this changes nothing.
You think you're responsible?
She's just check.
I knew he was weakened, but if I make him leave, he never gets hit with the kryptonite.
Last year, you and I talked about losing Brianna.
Brianna was his squad leader. I should have seen the signs.
You mentioned Wally earlier.
I could have gone with Miss Martian to the North Pole.
What would you have done in that situation?
And your mother?
I should have stopped Queen Bee!
Gar, you were 8 years old.
I could have done something.
What? The hardest thing to admit, especially for people in our line of work, is that sometimes we're
powerless.
They are really working it with this score. They're like, if you're not feeling it from the dialogue, you're gonna feel it from the music.
I need help.
Admitting that. It's a start, Gar.
Weirdly, he looks better. I feel like the crying maybe hydrated his face a little.
Ark, Lorzod, and Mantis have been here one full rotation.
What? Keep looking. I know the projector is here.
I mean, yeah, but there's a lot of here that you're working with.
There's our answer. The master of this place.
Okay, so he leaves the Sun Eater in his vault to just like kind of take care of security, but nothing reports back to him. He just trusts that it'll eventually get handled. That seems irresponsible. With someone with a vault as large and as theoretically powerful as what he's working with. Ooh. Ouch.
We will keep you in this condition indefinitely, unless you bring us to Krypton's Phantom Zone projector. I'll give you a tour of our little kingdom.
And don't worry, I'll watch over your ghosty.
She's incredibly bad vibes. I'm assuming this is Connor's like a little out of it that he's not picking up on them because no one in this zone has good energy.
That's how things work in the zone. Touching anything, moving anything, even simple communication, whether our lips move or not, is all about willing it so.
Think is the word of Sod. Work is the word of
Not this is a musical now.
Word of Sod.
Heed the words of Sod. Live
For the house of Sod.
Push
For the house of Sod.
Honestly, kind of feeling it. I feel like now I'm realizing there was a missed opportunity for this like to be a musical the whole time.
Fight for the house of Sod. Win for the house of Sod.
I do have questions though. Is the Zod family like an actual genetic lineage, or is it just like a clan?
Stay and be a part of what the House of Zod builds. Or you can continue on alone into the Phantom Zone.
Because they don't all look related. I mean, he's not going to choose to be alone. Oh, okay.
This doesn't have to continue, new god. All I want is the projector.
Are you certain he'll talk? He's immortal. He could wait you out.
I relent.
You are immortal. It feels like you should be able to hang out a little bit longer. Not that I consent to torture for any amount of time, to be no matter how old I get, but I thought they'd be built different.
Open it, Metron. Slowly.
And also, when someone says they're immortal, I'm like, how durable is he?
Not the prize you sought, perhaps. What are the warnings of mortals to a new god?
Okay, you're a girl with a gun to a goblin.
Come with me if you want the entire galaxy to survive.
These peace summits have just gone absolutely nowhere, but...
Focus.
Come on, Mantis. They questioned you. Get up. Fight that cloud.
Mantis remembers how.
Okay, but aren't they interfering on their own timeline? Because they already went a day earlier.
Mantis has found the prize. Mantis has found the Phantom Zone projector.
What's soft? What light through yonder window breaks?
Oh gosh.
Light is the east, and Forager is the sun.
That's
Rise, fair sun, and kill the envious moons. Moons are...
For someone who's valedictorian, he clearly did not get that Romeo and Juliet is not actually romantic. Also, Romeo is a thought. But he also fell in love after a day and a half, so I guess Forager would relate.
Forager speaks, yet Forager says nothing. What of that nothing? Forager's eye discourses. Forager will answer Forager's eye.
I just want to note they could have used any of this time to actually focus on Rocket since she doesn't like have a plot line. But no. Forager's getting a girl bug, so that's what's good use of our time. Well, that was eventful. As predicted, Rocket was in 3 scenes and she didn't really do too much. She made faces, attempted to be nice to Orion, was nice to the wrong Orion, and then continued to beef him for the rest of the episode, so that's going well. We found out that the people of New Genesis would like to claim Cyborg and Halo and just kidnap them, basically. Considering they're doing absolutely nothing to help stop meta-human trafficking, it's crazy to be like, so okay, here's our proposition. We will not help you. We're too busy, we're very fancy, and we're above that. However, can we kidnap 2 of your teammates? Like how, no wonder the summit isn't going anywhere. These demands are crazy. Bear came back. You remember him? He was in an episode once. He seemed nice then, and reminder, Connor's dead. And then we just wasted a bunch of time. And it's like, we wasted time, and then they were like aware that they're wasting time, but of course in the story they're like, oh, we're wasting time, we should be at the summit. But like as a viewer, you're literally wasting time. Where is the storyline going? Like, the storyline can't just be they're not being effective. Like, really? Found out that the beaky MST3K looking Green Lantern has a history with the L family and said some really weird things about Connor's death, which made it sound like he cared more about Connor's genes than him as a person, but whatever. So as we now know, he had a really close relationship with the L family, which means he's probably aware, and he and all the Green Lantern Corps in general have some kind of file on the Zod family, know about them, know why they were sent to the Phantom Zone, why they were punished, etc. And now we have Metron busting in and being like, come with me if you want to live. You meaning like the galaxy. So if he's saying, hey, we have a Kryptonian coming in, beating me up, torturing me, and trying to free everyone from the Phantom Zone, we have a problem. That's interesting. And I guess like they bring that in so that we know why. It's the thing, like we don't really need a justification for the Green Lanterns to fight them, right? Like if you had just said like, oh hey, a Kryptonian's like just tortured me and is trying to break everyone out of the Phantom Zone, and the Green Lanterns are like, oh hey, the Zod family, I know of them, that would make sense, because again, space cops, and I'm sure someone has a file on the Zod family, clan, whatever they are. So I guess they're building like an emotional attachment to them, so maybe it's like, oh, it's gonna be a lot more personal this time, but okay. I feel like this show takes opportunities to give kind of a more emotional backstories or attachments or responses to like complete side characters, or at least I think that's what they're trying to do, and then they'll have a main character, just, you know, let's say Rocket as an example, and just give her nothing, right? Just mediocre diplomacy and beefing with the person you're supposed to be working with and getting fooled by Malala blah blah blah. Blah blah. Malala flapjacks. Anyway, I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I will never. It's been, you know, 3 episodes now, and you're like, maybe they'll justify this decision. Forager, a little bit based off, you know, he's a bug. He has some relationship to, you know, New Genesis and Supertown, even if he hasn't actually been there, but he's a bit more familiar with them. The Flash is ancient ass. Don't know why he's there. Has he done anything productive? Not. I think the only thing he's actually done is like save the kids, and And that's it. And any other hero could have done that. Black Canary could have done that. Like, maybe not as fast, but I feel like she would have gotten the job done. It feels like his wife died and then they just like pity brought him back into the league because he doesn't know how to knit and isn't like, he doesn't want to stay at home and crochet. So like, actually we're doing like a diplomacy thing. That seems pretty chill and you could just come along. We could use your wisdom. But like, how long has this man been out of the game? What is he providing exactly to this mission? Like, I wouldn't trust any of those three, I'm sorry, Rocket, to make, like, galactic, earth-altering decisions. I don't have faith in any of these characters. So it just, like, makes the arc frustrating, because I don't get it. It doesn't resonate with me, and I don't understand people's decision-making. It makes it really hard for me to get attached to stuff if that is not obvious. We have the return of Gar. He's finally in therapy and I guess attempted to outsmart Dinah for like 30 minutes and fooled absolutely no one. For someone who was a professional actor, not very convincing. And again, they obviously really wanted us to feel for him. They've been sprinkling him in throughout this entire season, kind of against my will. So obviously this was like a big moment and it was very well written, I will say. The voice actors did a great job. The animators did a good job. You know, Gar looked terrible and it does make you feel for him a little bit. But as I've said, like, I actually never had an issue with his storyline. I never had an issue with the execution of it. I just had an issue with how it was paced, how it was placed. I don't get why they didn't just give him his own arc. Like, it feels like they kind of stitch themselves up by being like, every arc is 4 episodes or 5. Actually, you know, how Zatanna's was like 5, right? So like, instead of making it 4 and 5 for arcs, honestly, that didn't need to be. A lot of these have a lot of padding, shall we say. Give more characters 3-episode arcs. Like, they could have knocked this whole Gar storyline out in like 2 episodes. Like, especially because now at this point we've gone through several months throughout this season. They could have literally had 2 episodes of Gar, just cut like everything that's been cut through for the last like 20 episodes, just throw them into 2 episodes. Every scene we like keep jumping forward in time and it's like, you know, January, February, March, we keep cutting back to Gar just doing absolutely nothing. The intervention, breaking up with his girlfriend, all of that. And we would have got here, we've had 2 very sad, emotional episodes, and then we would have moved on. Cause like, his storyline doesn't really impact the like, what are the bad guys doing? It's just like one small character arc, which is good. If they'd done that with every character, I would have liked it. If they had done it with him in his own allotted space, I would have liked it. Breaking up other characters, those who have gotten less screen time, to watch him be snarky, sad, and kind of go through a cycle of snarkily sad, which just made me mad. Non-intentional rhyming there. I'm sure there was, you know, a lot of back and forth. I'm sure there's legitimate reasoning as to why they placed it the way they did, but as a viewer, didn't rock with it. But like I said, the actual how it went down in this episode was very well written. It was emotionally effective. I didn't even really want to make jokes at his expense. I made a couple, but like, compared to how I usually am, I think I was very sympathetic. You know, no one likes crying in therapy. It's vulnerable. It makes you uncomfortable. So I respect it. I respect the deflecting game, not even gonna lie. We followed Baby Zod on his quest to go through Metron's vault and find the projector. I think in practice it took a while in the show, but in description, they tried to find the projector. It didn't go very well, and Metron escaped. Well, Metron escaped and they escaped via Mantis. What Mantis is now going to do with the projector, I'm not sure, because like, it would seem like he's just going to give it to Baby Zod because he's been ordered by Darkseid to assist Baby Zod. But he was taking a little bit of shade. People, he obviously felt a little disrespected, so I'm kind of curious if he's going to just get the projector and then be like, you know what, never mind. But that would entail disobeying Darkseid, so maybe not. Maybe I'm ascribing like a little bit too much defiance to his character, or I mean, I don't even think they have the space and time to expand on that. But maybe it's just for that short-lived victory of like, hey, you talk shit, you thought I couldn't help, but guess who was not unconscious? Guess who not only got us into the ball, sent us back in time, but got the projector? Me, Mantis, I'm a champion, and then that's just gonna be it. We're just gonna have this one little arc where this random side character gets to feel like a winner. Good for him, I guess. And I think the most fun arc was definitely Connor in the void. Get in the zone. I think the most fun arc was definitely Connor in the zone. Like, it's the one I was most excited for. I've been saying for like, I think 10 episodes now, like, I don't get it. What's the plan? Where are we going with this? And obviously once we kind of introduced the Phantom Zone and all of the Zod people that are trapped in there, the Kryptonians, I was like, okay, I guess Zod is the big bad, but it's also like really upsetting because I had so much fun with this. And they randomly just started like singing like a weird Kryptonian sea shanty of Zoom, and I was so into it. Like, if this had been episode 10, and so we got like 4 episodes of Connor like falling under their spell, and then episode like 15 they break out of the Phantom Zone, and then we get like 5 episodes of everyone having to fight a whole crap ton of Kryptonians. Are you kidding me? I would have been so hyped. Like, if the idea is that Darkseid and Vandal Savage are endgame, right? They are the end goal fight. If this is the middle fight, if this is our season's big bag, not the big bad, not the series finale, but the season finale, why did we save them till it's episode 20? Why are we just getting them now? I don't get it. Because it wasn't for character development, because that shit was very uneven. So why didn't we introduce our villains earlier? Unless the Light is somehow going to swoop in this last like 6 episodes and like become the real bad guy. But then it's almost like, what's the point of introducing Zod then? I feel like they've, I don't know. If this is the last season, right, which like, then it should have come to a head with the Light versus Darkseid. But that's not what's gonna happen. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like it'd be crazy if this just took a sudden left into Light v Darkseid. That doesn't make sense. Savage v Darkseid. So it has to be Zod as like the seasonal big bad. And at which point it just feels like such a waste. Like, he had so much like presence on screen. Like, I was so into it, man. Like, if you're not getting it, I'm enthusiastic about this storyline, and I'm really irritated that it's not getting introduced until just now. Like, Baby Zod, he's a means to an end, right? Baby Zod is a means to get the Zod family out of the Phantom Zone, and that's so cool. There's so much potential with that. The whole thing is always like, what do you do to fight Superman? Like, okay, kryptonite, but there's only so much kryptonite in the world, and that's a lot of Kryptonians. It's actually not that many. It's like 12, but when you know, underneath the Yellowstone, 12 Kryptonians is enough. All right, that's enough to cause problems. That's enough for everyone to need to unite and get together. You want to talk about diplomacy? There you go. Like, I feel like I'm either gonna really love the next 6 episodes, or I'm just gonna spend the entire time so annoyed that this wasn't like 12, 14 episodes, right? Like why didn't you just draw it out? I don't know. But I am excited to see where this goes, but also frustrated for what could have been, even though it hasn't happened yet. I'm distressed and advanced. Advanced? I am advanced at distress. I'm like really excited for next episode. I feel like sometimes I end off and I'm kind of like, all right, like the episode was what it was, but this one, not as a Rocket episode. I cannot stress that enough. Her plot is irrelevant. But for what it's building up, I'm really excited for that. So yeah, on that note, I'm going to end this. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, comment, etc. All those good things that make me very, very happy. If you don't want to do any of that, but you've watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you. I still really, really appreciate you. And like I said before, I am inching slowly my way towards 1,000 subscribers. So if you have been watching and you're not subscribed, please do it. Please. I am begging. Like, I would say I'm on bended knee, but I'm so close to the ground already, it's like it wouldn't even make a difference. The camera angle would be exactly the same. You wouldn't even be able to tell. But yeah, if you do, thank you. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.